Well, greetings and good day, everyone. Let's talk about a very unpleasant subject: serial killers. From approximately the mid-60s to I'd say the mid-80s was the era of serial killers in the United States, at least in the United States. I think most people know who Ted Bundy was, who murdered many young women and sometimes little girls. He was executed in Florida in 1989. There was Joseph DeAngelo, the Golden State Killer, who used to be a cop. He's still alive. He's an old man. DNA evidence caught him eventually, like 40 plus years after the killings. There was Richard Ramirez in California, known as the Freeway Killer. There was the Hillside Strangler, of course, Angelo Bono and Kenny Bianchi. There was Rodney Alcala, the dating game killer. Up north in Northern California, there was the Zodiac Killer. As far as I know, he was never caught. There was the Green River Killer. But in addition to all them, have you ever heard of the Score Card Killer? The Score Card Killer is still alive. He's over 80 years old. He was caught in 1983 after murdering many young men. He seemed to have a thing for young men. Obviously, he had a fetish about that. Anyway, in September of 1974, there were two individuals who were off-roading on bikes in present-day Aliso Viejo, over here in southern Orange County. They were on a fire road when they discovered a deceased male by the side of the trail. He was white male, estimated between 18 and 25 years of age. Initially, his cause of death was determined to be accidental due to alcohol and diazepam intoxication. This case went unsolved for a long time. His fingerprint classification was submitted to the Criminal Identification and Investigation Division in Sacramento. It was submitted to the FBI. It was also submitted to Canadian authorities with negative results. Keep in mind, this was 1974, long before DNA evidence and testing. I think it existed at that time, but it was not being used. Anyway, after several weeks of efforts to establish his identity, he was finally interred right over here. You can barely see my marker pole where it is. It's a few feet from here. So, actually, the police, the Orange County Sheriff's Department were able to establish that there were other deaths in 1978, just 4 years after this young guy, that were due to alcohol and diazepam intoxication. More than one. There were several, and that's suspicious. So those deaths were classified as homicides. Now, remember, this young fella was killed in 1974. He was killed. Initially, they thought it was accidental. In May of 1983, the California Highway Patrol caught a driver acting weird on the highway. He was weaving in and out of traffic. He was stopped. His name was and is Randy Kraft. They took him in because he had a passenger in his seat that he told the chip officer was drunk. The guy was dead. So they took him in. In the trunk of Kraft's vehicle was a coded list of about 67 victims that he had. 67 victims. In May of 1989, he was convicted of 16 murders and sentenced to death. Meanwhile, this young fellow right here was laying all these years unidentified. Then, in October of 2023, after many months of work, now with DNA evidence in their among their tools, investigators from the Sheriff's Department of Orange County identified the possible grandparents of this particular victim. They contacted a granddaughter of this particular these grandparents. They contacted the granddaughter, who told investigators she had not seen her 17-year-old brother since April of 1974, the exact time that this unidentified John Doe was discovered, lying by a hiking trail. So they got a DNA sample from the woman believed to be the mother of the victim, and through it, they positively identified the decedent as Michael Ray Schlicht, who was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 1957. He came here, I don't know why, but this is him. So let's take a walk to his grave. He's a victim of the Score Card Killer. Meanwhile, Randy Kraft had been convicted of these other murders and had been serving many years in prison. He's still in prison today. He was sentenced to death row, but, well, since 2005, nobody's ever been sentenced to die on death row. Capital punishment is still the law in California, but it's basically useless. This is the unidentified victim who the family identified. I'm going to put a link to his Find a Grave page. He was a very young, blonde, boyish-looking kid, and he attracted Mr. Kraft's attention. And the family found out. Well, the investigators found out in the year 2023. Here's almost 50 years later that this is who it was, and they notified the family. The family had this grave marker put here. So, rest in peace to young Mr. Michael. I am so sad and sorry this happened, and that evil men still prowl our planet looking for victims. You know, we often say that crimes go undetected, criminals often get away with things. Really, they don't. No criminal gets away with anything in eternity. No crime will go undiscovered. No criminal will go unpunished. God is omniscient. He knows all, he sees all, he hears all. And Jesus himself said in Luke 8:17, there is nothing secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hidden which shall not be known and come to light. Proverbs 15:3 says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So even if justice is never served in this life, believe me, the judgment seat of Jesus Christ awaits them. So rest in peace, young Mr. Michael. And my condolences to your family.